chance, one last chance to transmit some lesson or truth from the Torah to those that you love. Which Torah portion would you use? Which truth, which element would you use? What would you be trying to accomplish? This Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 1, the Torah portion, Devarim, Deuteronomy, if you will. We are beginning a brand new book, the last book in the series of the Torah. And it's the recounting of the Torah in review form by Moshe to his people through a series of speeches. He knows that he's not going into the land, but he needs to prepare them to the best of his ability before they do. At this point, he's 120 years of age. The first 40 were spent in Pharaoh's palace. The second 40 were hidden in isolation out with the Midianites. The last 40 years now, he has been leading Israel through the wilderness. It would be kind of like FDR still being our president, in a manner of speaking. And so he has been trying to shape their lives. He's been trying to build this people, build a nation. And let's consider the people, who they are at this point. They have gone in one generation from being slaves to Pharaoh, who were beaten beyond all possible terms of endurance to build cities and great statues and monuments to Pharaoh, to the place that they believed that this was just their lot in life. This is who their identity became, were slaves. Through the hand of Yah, through the plagues, and through his miraculous strong right arm, he brought them a mighty deliverance and brought them into wilderness settings. So then they became wilderness nomads, where they journeyed from one location to the other with their flocks, their herds, their wives, their little ones, following the cloud. They were sustained by miracles, by signs, by wonders, the cloud and the pillar, the Shekinah showing up over the Mishkan or the tabernacle. Their clothes did not wear out. Their feet did not swell. The shoes did not wear out. They had manna every day. They had water from the rock. They were climate controlled because of the shade from the cloud during the day and the warmth of the pillar of fire at night. They had Moshe as their Torah teacher. Over and again, they were given signs and wonders. They had already defeated significant adversaries. They were good now at living in the wilderness. They were being sustained and miraculously supplied. And Moshe is trying to get them ready for the mindset and the shift that is necessary. You're going to go into a land. The cloud's not going with you, neither the pillar of fire. You will not find manna on the ground. And the water that you drink will be drawn from springs and wells. You will put seed in the ground, and you will pray for rain in its season, and you will pray against the locusts and caterpillars, etc., that would seek to devour your your crops. Your flocks, your herds will graze in the lands that you have been given. You will have to tend your vineyards and your orchards. You will have to work. No more getting out of the tent and breakfast is on the ground. If you eat, it's because you have labored and produced food. The first fruits of which you will take to the tabernacle, to the temple, in its time, and there you will present them to Yah and express your praise and thanksgiving for his faithfulness to you. You're going to live in a house you didn't build. But you're going to have to settle the land. You're going to have to drive out some inhabitants who don't want to leave. There's a shift coming. And Moshe knew that these people were not ready for it. It simply says then in the beginning of verse number 1, these are the words which Moshe spoke to all Israel beyond the Jordan in the wilderness. They're yet in the wilderness setting. They're yet being miraculously supplied. The shift is coming. Can I tell you that in our day, current, right here, right now, there is a shift coming. What are we talking about? We are going to be moving from a reasonably expected economy that will work, reasonably expecting our convenience and comfort to continue, where we reasonably expect that we can get in a vehicle and go where it is that we want to go and do what it is that we want to do. Life may become a bit more challenging. We're entering into a phase, I believe. When and how suddenly it will appear, or will it be incrementally just increased, we'll just have to see. But my expectation is, personally, is that we're going to become more dependent upon the miraculous hand of Yah to intervene for us. Now, I don't believe that we need to buy a tank. I don't think you need to buy some kind of heavy artillery of some sort. Yah's going to supply us. This is not a build a bunker or run for a cave time. No, Yah's going to use you where you are. Yah's going to supply you where you are. We're heading, as one friend of mine said some years ago, we're entering into the days of the greatest time of anointing and exploits in the name of Yeshua that have ever been seen. Why would we hide ourselves? Yah's getting ready to raise up a powerful, anointed, committed, focused people. And the question is, are we willing to hear his words to become such a people? Consider this idea. Moshe has repetitively gone up onto the mountain, several times at 40-day stints, just being sustained by the miraculous presence of Yah, not eating or even drinking, but soaking in the presence of Yah and hearing verbatim his words. Over and again, he has gone into the tent of meeting and come out with his face glowing, hearing again by his own ears, verbatim, the very word of the Most High, and then he has transmitted that to Israel. They have a reliable source of information in Moshe. But it's more than that. Moshe has been absorbing the presence of Yah and then diffusing it to his people. And once it has been diffused to them, he has changed the environment. He has changed his surroundings, and his sphere of influence has been incredibly magnified and enabled to a very high degree. Yet he knows that this is still a very idealistic, pie-in-the-sky minded people who feel like we're going to waltz in and the enemy is just going to turn and run away. They do not realize the years of battles that they're getting ready to fight. They do not understand the level of resistance that they're going to face. They will prevail. However, there are those that are going to give up in their efforts and just learn to settle with their adversaries, going against the very command of Yah. Moshe is, by his words then, one more time diffusing the very character and truth of Yah to Am Israel. It's up to you and I to do the same, to get lost in the presence of the Most High, reading the Word intently, not just looking for something to teach or a golden nugget, but letting the Word absorb into your very fiber of being. Praying and seeking the face of Yah, praying in the Spirit. Seeking Him, let Him fill you until you overflow, and then out of the overflow, influence your environment and your sphere of influence. This is very key. You would establish a better place for the troubling days ahead, perhaps, by already now influencing that which is around you. We'll take this a few steps further tomorrow, and until then, shalom.